He then went on to, probably in his own mind, said, no, I'm going to be that 1 in 10,000 and let me show you.
So for me to make the high school team as a freshman, that was my world. Playing 26 games a year, you finally got to play in front of a real crowd with, leagues, with the state championship, everything that meant something, that really brought out the emotions, I think, in your game and throughout a season.
He's the kind of kid who always put his team first, but worked on himself, worked very hard at his own skills and his abilities, because he knew that if he improved himself, he'd then be able to help his team.
Previous years coming in, when Spash made the state tournament, it was an every year thing. Every year we lost in the finals, double overtime, lost by a goal, something heartbreaking, and every year he came home and it was still waiting for Spash's first state title win. And we lose that year to Massey Memorial in the semis, and it was the same feeling. And going into the year, we knew Coach, it was his last year, so it was, even more emotional, I think.
My son was born, and so I retired after 14 years.
I don't think he probably knows the presence he had on players. He commands a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, and that kind of training was very important for my growth. The next year, we had a new coach come in. The year was fun, it was interesting, but everything dropped kind of mediocre. As players, that's on us, but you do understand the importance of a coach.
After coming out of a rocky season, the kids of the Spash hockey team were hit with another blow. For the second season in a row, they lost their coach.
Coach Wright was moving on. We didn't have a coach.
We were up north building our cottage, and the phone rang, and it was Joe, and on the phone. And he said, hey, Coach, it's Joe Pavelski. I said, hey, Joe, how you doing? He goes, good. And we had this conversation. He goes, wondering if you might want to come back and coach next year. And I said, well, Bill Wright's your coach. He goes, no, he just left town last week, and we kind of like you to come back, even if it's just for 1 year. He said, we need your discipline. And I'll never forget when he said, we need your discipline. I had no intention of going back to coach. So I was chatting with my wife about it, and I thought she was the last person in the world who would want me to go back to coaching. And she said to me, how could you leave those boys without a coach? So I'm emotional now. So we came back and won the state championship, so.
When he came back, it was, and he set that tone, it was something special for our group, and I think it finally was the reason we were able to get over the edge.
In 2002, they became the first to win the state hockey championship. It was a big victory for the team, an historic moment for Spash. But for number 8, it was much, much more.
It was, all because of him that he was able to come back, and they were just, I wouldn't think a high school moment in my life. It's like, it's been a while since I've been in this room. Good dozen years for sure, probably. Stalls are still the same wood. My last year, I think I sat back in this corner. It was pretty good. It was a great room. The high school room was perfect. Growing up, you have ups and downs, games where you score goals, where you don't, where you win games or not. It was, whether it was a tough loss or not on that night, it was definitely the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later, you just have that itch to really get back, and you want to become better. You want get back into that situation, because where you get to test yourself and, kind of really test your skills. And, whether you're a little nervous or not, it's a good thing, because it means something, and it's an opportunity to, all your work that you've put in to, let it come out. After that year of winning and kind of getting to a level where I thought there would be more out there, I wanted to look towards the junior league that came into play in the USHL.
At the end of his junior year, with a state championship under his belt, Joe took the next step in his hockey career. He was recruited by the Waterloo Blackhawks.
Yeah, when I was a young boy, in my rolled up corduroys, not knowing what it was to seize the day. And now that I'm older and a little bit wiser, if I could talk to that boy, this is what I'd say. Yeah, I'd say run down the street, raise up your heart.